G'day YouTube, how's it going? So with Valentine's Day coming up and whatnot, I was kind of looking back and thinking about some of my experiences with girls, and I realized that about 95% of them are really awkward. Now if you don't know anything about me or you haven't seen any of my videos, all you need to know is that I was homeschooled growing up. So I decided to do a little mini series called Awkward Girl Stories, and I'm gonna tell you guys about a few of my first experiences with girls that were extremely awkward. So when I was in about probably sophomore year, I decided that it was time for me to go on my first date. And I know what you guys are thinking, why have you never gone on a date and you're in sophomore year? I was homeschooled, guys. That's honestly all I can say. So I decided, okay, why not? I may as well, you know, get my first dating experience, so-called thing, at least that's what I thought it was. So I couldn't even get a girl myself. I went with my mom's best friend's niece. I called her up and I was like, hey, do you want to go out for dinner tonight? And she said yes, so I was like, okay, cool, I have my first date. First off, I was already 20 minutes late to pick her up, so that was kind of a bad sign, number one. And the second thing was that I decided that we should go and get Thai, which was mistake number two. We're eating this food and I'm kind of watching her and I realize we're talking too. I'm not just like staring at her like love is in the air. But I'm watching and I realize that she's eating more food than I am. So I'm thinking in my head, wait, maybe she's gonna think she's fat if she eats more than me. And I'm kind of a skinny guy, so I don't necessarily eat that much food, but I kind of pushed myself and I was like, okay, I gotta eat more food, man. I gotta eat more than this girl. And one thing you should know about me, I have a really weak stomach. If you don't believe me, go and watch our Magic Berries video. I almost puke in that. And I just keep eating and eating, and it's just like not agreeing with me. So I excuse myself and I go to the bathroom. And if you haven't been on a date before, when you go to the bathroom, it's kind of weird because you sort of ditch them for like 5 minutes and then you come back. So I go to the bathroom and come back and we decide to walk down to the mall, which is about probably 2 miles away or so. So we're walking down to the mall, talking to each other, and my stomach is just getting worse and worse. I mean, it's just like intensity level rising. I'm feeling some rumbling in there that isn't natural. So at this point, I'm kind of regretting eating so much curry, but you know, I push on. I was a man and we kept walking. So we get to the mall and my stomach is just getting worse and worse and worse. So I'm starting to think, okay, you know, worst case scenario, if I have to puke, what am I gonna do? So I'm thinking, I can't let this girl see me puke. I kind of start steering us towards the bathrooms, but the mall we were at was kind of big. It used to be actually the largest in America. So kind of hard to find a bathroom, but I'm trying to steer her towards one. I can't find one. And by this point, I know I'm going to throw up. So we come across this section of just path that kind of splits out into a T. I just start walking a little faster and faster, and she's kind of looking at me weird like, what are you doing? And by this point, I'm starting to get like that like gag reflex, and I'm just listening to her talk like, So I'm walking faster and faster. I'm literally leaving her behind, and I kind of shot back like, I have to go use the bathroom. So I just bolt and I zip around the corner, and she walks up to the corner and just kind of stands there like, okay. And I'm just like running, like literally like running as fast as I can. I get about 50 yards down and I find like a big pillar with a trash can behind her. So I was like, okay, perfect. You know, I'll go throw up this trash can. And let's just say that I might not have made it in time and had curry on my hands before I reached the trash can, and a little bit on my chin. So I get to this trash can, I lean over, and I go ahead and exhale the contents of my stomach into this trash can. But what I didn't know was the lid was ridiculously loose. So as I put my hands down on the edge there, the other end flies up and whacks me in the nose. So now I have a cut on my face with blood dripping down, and I also have curry on my hands and chin. So I do my business and the immediate threat of her seeing me is gone. And I'm like, okay, what do I do now? I should probably go find a bathroom and clean up. And I didn't really think of it at the time, but I must have looked kind of crazy to everyone else in the mall around me, running around with blood and curry on my hands. So I started running around frantically looking for a bathroom. And I don't know if I missed half of them, but I literally ran through like a quarter of the mall before I even found a bathroom. But I finally find one, so I wash up, I clean my hands, clean my chin, I get the blood to stop dripping, and I give her a call. So the first time I ring and she doesn't answer, so I'm thinking, oh great, she thought I ditched her. So I ring again, she answers straight away, and I try and play it off cool. I was like, hey, sorry, I had a sore stomach, but I'm good now. You know, whereabouts are you? And she was like, oh, I'm just back on the corner where you left me. So I run back down there, and I'm guessing she did see me throw up and she was just too nice to say anything. But I came up to her and I was like, sorry, you know, I had a really sore stomach. And she was like, oh, that's totally fine, I was just texting my friends. So I'm almost certain that this girl knows that I heave my guts out, but she's just being nice and playing it cool. So by this time I'm kind of done with the date. I was like, hey, you know, it was good hanging out, but do you want to go home? I have curfew, I need to get back to my house, and I still have to drop you off. So I drop her off, and in the car ride home I just laughed my head off. I kind of thought it was funny at the time, I don't know why, but I have not seen that girl since, and I am extremely grateful about that. So I hope you guys like my awkward girl story. Unfortunately, I have a lot more of those, so I might do 1 or 2 more of these depending if you guys like these. So if you liked it, hit that button and you can hear more awkward stories about my life, because there are a lot of them. Well guys, if you liked that video, subscribe, there's more up here, and I'm off to go tweet Selena Gomez to be my date to prom. 336 times the charm.